Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning. We're going to work with the Tai Chi Broadsword. I know there's been quite a bit of people watching or following. I assume people that are following, some of those are my students that know the form or have learned it, and people that are outside watching, I understand there's quite a few people that are interested. So today I'm going to actually work on a small piece of it so that hopefully just running through it isn't the best way to learn the sequence. So, there's some basic fundamentals. This is a hoop, just like a Tai Chi form, and a lot of times I speak of the weapon as an extension of the body. So if your framework and your positions in the body are not sort of dialed into your space so that you know direction of movement, working with the legs, all of this will be magnified. So it's a good foundation to have the Tai Chi form in itself, the empty hand form. The Tai Chi paradigm is a form that you can do, and actually that would give you a foundation of how a lot of the movements that we do in the Wu style. So when we do this form, the opening actually is like our grasp the sparrow's tail. So if you know the grasp the sparrow's tail, this becomes quite easy to do. And one of the reasons why when you first do the sword, you have to relax the hand that's holding the sword initially is because you have to just work with the movement as if it's not even in your arm. So that way, when you do your movements, like this is brush knee. So this gives you an idea how your body is going to work when you go through the form. So those are part of the body posturing and the body imagery. So the body imagery is supported, throughout the form. The shifting of the weight, the moving the body, keeping the hands moving together. Those are really important concepts. But anyways, when we're here, this is when you switch the hands. Okay, so you have this in position, and then you see how I move my hand to the back of the sword so that I can push it up. So pushing up is lifting like this. See? So when you push up, you can see that the hands are working together. So if you push and this arm yields, you're going to end up in this position. Okay. So you push, it's like this. So it's almost like fan through the back. You see? So when you push up and you enter a position, then you go through this, you can see how the transition is just an extension of the body. So when you go down, you want to be in line with your body position like this. You want the movement to go over your head. So your shoulders actually have to be relaxed and flexible in a sense that when you go forward like this and then go over the top, it ends up like this. Now when I separate my body like this and I come up, I follow up with the sword. So in this instance, I'm following up. So this leg is coming and dragging that sword up. And then I sit back. So this is a neutral position. If I turn like this, that ends up here. So I sink my elbow and I turn. If I drop it and I come back up, it would be a slice upward. So that's a direction, a circle this way in this plane of movement, you see. So this plane of movement, even though you're looking at it from the side view, would happen if I came toward you. Okay. So when I come to this side and I go to this side, so this is what you need to practice. Just like in the last class, we talked about turning the waist and turning the waist. In the beginning, if you try to move the hand and you don't turn the body, the sword is going to be all over the place. But if you turn your body and you track the blade, your movement is going to be much more defined and much cleaner. Okay, so you really have to set up your torso in order to complete your stroke. when my feet are like this and I step out just to go to the corner, I actually go through here and I go to here. So when I stroke, it goes 1, 2, 3. So that's really something you need to practice a bit so you know, because we referenced the movement, say neck level. Now it's not level and it's not stiff armed. It slants downwards slightly, maybe at a 10-degree angle. And why does it slant down at a 10-degree angle? Because your shoulder doesn't want to go across level like this. It wants to come down like this because that's more of a natural stroke, because your shoulder isn't designed to move across like that. You'll end up hurting your shoulder. So you have to know the direction of your movement, and you have to know, kind of understand the anatomy of your shoulder and how it's going to work. You know, it's sort of like when you take a tennis racket and you serve. It actually comes across the body. It doesn't come straight down. You know, same with a volleyball player. If you're striking like this, not that they don't strike like this, it really is more natural to strike like this. So that's called the diagonal stroke or the diagonal strike. If you go like this without tying it to the body and turning the waist, you're going to injure your shoulder. So many athletes that play volleyball or play tennis end up with tennis shoulder, mainly because they're striking and hitting wrong. The body mechanics is not correct. So what I try to teach you is the natural stroke and the natural motion, because that's not going to compromise the joint. So if you're going to practice Tai Chi or do this and your joints are in the wrong position and you're injuring yourself, that becomes counterproductive. That's not the purpose of doing this. This is supposed to be something that supports good health and good body training and learning how to build quality of life and prevent age-related degeneration. So because it's an apparatus, it doesn't mean that you should damage your body. So you should actually understand that when you stroke across like this and you stroke across like this and I switch to this hand, the body movements should be natural. If I take the sword and I go like this is natural. So if I go like this and I go like this, when I turn, if I don't turn my body, I can't get my position correct. When it goes over the head and I turn and I go over like this, that's one of the other movements. So when I come up and over, I really have to step to the side a little bit. So my line of movement is going to be tracking. So if you look in the mirror and I go over the top, when it goes over the top, if I go directly over and I step like this, the sword's going to go here. I don't think you'd want to be in that position. You want to probably go to the side so you can see. Now when you're watching, you might not pick that up or you might not even see that. But that's just part of the spatialness of the movement, that you have to step to the side and come over like this, and then it comes back to center. If I turn like this actually also is the same. You have to step around to the side and avoid conflict with the blade. So when we're dealing with movement in space, this comes like this, and then relax your shoulder so you can find that vertical position, and it goes over. Relax the shoulder, and then come back up. If I were to turn like this, I would go like this, and this would come down, shift, turn, and complete the movement. See, so there's a synchronization of the body that you have to realize that you're here, here, and here. So this is a a deflection. So if I'm deflecting, I'm blocking, or chopping. So this is slicing all the way around. Because this is where the blade is just sustained, and the motion is really this, right? So if I put this against here, and I turn, this will actually cut you if your opponent, if you were using it like that. If I go like this, I actually can deflect. There's a block. If I go like this, that takes me in a direction, and then I'm here. So whether I do that or not, it's the next movement. One other thing is that when we're stroking like this, that gives you a position to turn your waist. So that would be a drill. Typically, you would be stepping to a corner, stepping to the corner. Now, chopping. Your chopping should be vertical. So you look from the side. There's your chop, like using an axe. You're chopping. Sinking the elbow. Push the sword. Take it over the top. Uppercut or undercut, you're coming like this, and you pull back. Okay. So when you pull back, the hand is like this as a support. Okay? Like in all the other broadswords, when the hand comes across to here, you lift the sword, goes over the head. You cross like this, it goes up, it goes over the head, comes down the other shoulder, and it allows you to slice this way. You open the cut, it comes over the top, your hand comes through here, and you do that. So without this action, so this is resting on my upper arm. That helps me bring it over my head. And then allows this to come down because I drop my elbow. And then I can slice this way. Once I slice this way, I have to turn the sword when it gets behind me so I can cut the other way. And then when it goes over the head, we come through the center. You see the position? That's to avoid the conflict of cutting your own arm on the way around. Because if I did this, if I didn't come through my center and I have it here, I actually would be my arm would be in the way. So there's a maneuver that you have to understand how to get that to happen. So the slice is here, you're here, it goes over the head, and the hand movement is like this. Now if you coordinate that movement with the leg, then you would end up here, and then you would sink down. And then you step forward and you would poke, or step forward and poke. And you can see that when you're moving over the head, we also have a movement like this. So we're wrapping the body like this, then we take it over the head, chop down like this, end up like this, then we're here. So we can see the maneuver is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah. So I knocked my mic off because it does get, okay. So the sword movement actually, because it's pretty close to your arm gets close to the ear, so it will actually get in the way when you're doing this. So it's just one of the facts that when you do movements, it's pretty close to your body, and when you reference your body and you move it. And the thing is, because the hand is going, see how close that gets to the ear, and that's why it would knock, the mic off my ear. So the thing is, that's something you have to practice, because a lot of this is touch and go, and body positioning and feeling and knowing the space of the movement really comes down. Now look at your shoulder. Your shoulder actually has to relax in order for you to do that. So just think of this shoulder girdle, which everybody gets so tight and stiff and so forth because they don't move this area. You're going to have discomfort, stiffness in your upper body. So how to avoid stiffness is actually to move. So your shoulder joint and your hip joints are two joints that actually a lot of people have trouble with because we don't move them efficiently, and I would say probably the way they're designed to move, kind of naturally moving in directions. And what moves our joints are our muscles, and what muscles that are involved in moving the joint are numerous. There's numerous muscles taking that joint in different directions. So certain muscles are working more than others, you're going to get conflict in the movement. So anyways, that's sort of that side of it. Let's get through the form before we end up. Okay, so we start off in the shoulder width, step up and press. Sit back and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Step up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, the things I'm talking about are here. These are the movements that we're talking about. So those are a lot of fundamental motions. There's some coordination built into the movements. And then we step up and we kick up. Flip and switch. Slice. These are waist cuts. Here's a poke down, and we fold. Here's the lift over the top chop. Lift, switch, and poke. Okay? Okay, actually. Turn. We're going to go in this direction. Now, this is the golden cockerel. We're going to stand on one leg, heel kick, and then we step forward and push. Over the top. Okay, now we're going to cut around again and go forward. Over the top again. Undercut. Sit back, turn, and open. Okay, so that's a big piece of the form. And then once we get to here, we sit back and we push. Okay, so let's go through that again, just for people that have actually maybe starting the form. So we're in the shoulder width stance, and we're here. So opening, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, divert, and push. Turn 180 degrees, 1, 2. 1, 2, switch hands, 3. Left, right, center, poke. Okay? Now the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit back, turn. So this is like carry tiger to the mountain, right? Open, stab, flip it over, keep it close to the body, stab. Now the blade is facing up. Turn the blade down, sort of cover or lift. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the corner and go to the corner. Lift up, switch feet, and poke. Okay, see what happens here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. The hand ends up here. So there's that timing where the body builds that coordination and relationship. Then I kick it up again. 1, 2, 3. Here, waist, over the top, sit back, lift the knee, and poke. Turn the blade, heel kick, take it down here, and push forward. Now we turn again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. This continues. Actually, it's almost the same as the other side, except for a couple of slightly different transitions, which is here. This is different. And then we're here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Sit back, shift forward, switch to feet, and poke. Okay, so that section of 2 sections of the form actually is a good piece that has a lot of movements that are kind of similar, but you probably can't identify exactly what is common in the movement. What's common is overcut, undercut, step through, push. Those movements kind of happen quite a bit. So let's go through that again, right? So we start off preparation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. and it continues. We sweep, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goes to the corner. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. See how that was? So once we're here, we slice. So this is a diagonal flying. So we see this movement. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here's this, on this side, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. This goes like this. 3, and we stab like that. 1, and we go to the corner. 2, switch hands. 3, switch hands. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Deep breathing. So, anyone learning that form or this form, Tai Chi Saber, can follow, I think, that video because it's broken down pretty finely into sort of a count. And if you can follow the count, you have to go through that process. But remember, this form is fairly long, so you won't be able to run from beginning to end by just copying. You'd have to do sections. So when learning a sequence, you have to work on a sequence that, is as much as you can remember and repeat. Because if you can't repeat it, you're going to get confused. You're going to get lost inside that sequence. It's very easy to lose track of where you are in that form because it's so long, and it's a process. You have to go through it. While you're learning the sequence, you have to kind of build your understanding of the way to maneuver the apparatus. So learn how to maneuver it as one of your processes, the training, and then work a bit on sequence as part of that. And all this is archived, so go to a section and work on it. Then go to a section and add on, and just build and build and build. And it doesn't happen in, even in a month's time, you may not be able to pick up the whole sequence. It does take a bit of time. So, one aspect of Tai Chi is the sequences are so long typically, it could take up to a year to learn some of these sequences. The long form, if you're practicing a couple of times a week, might take you a year to actually remember the whole thing. So if you're really unfamiliar with something in your hand, you can imagine it will take some time. But everything is a function of time and effort. So the more you put into it, the faster that process will be. So I think that's about it. So revisit that, thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends. I went through that so that if people are learning this form, stay tuned because I'll try to build that sequence for you over time. All right, on that note, see you next time.